Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So I remember I was talking to somebody about Islam, and this guy, he was very interested. A lot of the things, a lot of the concepts in Islam he accepted, and he was, you could say, close to becoming a Muslim. But unfortunately, when it came to the idea of adopting this title, this name of Muslim, he was very averse to it. And he had this sort of idea that said like, oh, I read various religious scriptures and I take from all of them and I try to take the truth of everything, and I'm a universal, etc., etc. There's lots of people like this. I'm sure we've all met people that have this type of attitude. And so the question is how to deal with such a person. Well, I'm sure there are many different methods. The most standard method for me personally is I try to explain to them that ultimately what they're saying is that they are cherry picking from every different faith the perfect combination to come up with their own personal religion that is apparently the objective truth, and they are the only ones who have come up with it. So in other words, there is a true religion, you have it and nobody else does. And you say this to say, oh, I'm kind of a man of the people and I belong to everybody because I'm very humble, but at the same time, it's kind of a statement of arrogance, not to be rude, not to attack you, but like you're saying you're the only one that's guided. Don't you find that a bit problematic? And so I tried this angle before, and unfortunately with this guy, he was like, no. He thought he was perfectly fine with this. So I tried something different. And I was surprised to see that it was having an effect. I said to him, okay, fine. You pick from every religion, you're making up your own faith, whatever the case is. But let me ask you this. How exactly do you plan on getting married and having a family? And he was like, yeah, that's something I struggle with a lot. Like I find it very difficult to find someone who's on the same page as me. And I'm like, yeah, of course. Because what makes a marriage often successful is that the two people have compatible views, compatible, you could say, ethics, morals, principles. Essentially, they have the same faith. You'll often find that when people have those compatible worldviews, that ultimately they make for a better couple. And how on earth are you going to find somebody who's compatible with you when you've literally invented your own religion? Is she also going to be the type of person who invents her own religion, and it just so happens that both of you fell upon the exact same set of principles that you've both cherry-picked randomly? Like this idea is not, it's not going to happen. It's not realistic. And I remember that struck him pretty hard, that he realized that, yeah, this is why I'm struggling with a relationship, because I basically made up my own faith, and now I'm looking for somebody who is compatible with my own personal brand of religion, as opposed to something that is globally accepted as a set of principles that many people can subscribe to. So I'm not saying that this is the only method, but alhamdulillah, I thought it was a helpful way of navigating this space, and it made him realize just how detrimental it was to his own progress as a human being to be inventing his own faith and claiming that I'm on the truth and nobody else is. It's like, man, you're going to be alone. You're going to be alone, and now you understand why. And I remember when I was explaining this to him, we were at a restaurant, and I remember that it felt like that had a big hit, had a big impact on him. And hopefully it went home and he sort of reflected and let that marinate for a while. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide him. Jazakallah khair. I thought that was a useful lesson. Hopefully you guys can benefit from that. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.